Well, hello there folks, how are you? I hope that I find you all very well and you're all having a smashing day so far. It's lovely to see you again. Or if you're new, a warm welcome to you also. This is What's for Tea, and today I'm just going to run through and show you a quick family recipe of a classic beef lasagna al forno, or a lasagna that's obviously getting cooked in the oven. Now don't worry when you see all of these ingredients, because you are going to need quite a few ingredients, but you'll discover that you've got a lot of these things in your cupboard anyway. You know, the only things I really had to buy was the minced beef, and I think I'd run out of mozzarella cheese and the parmesan, so I only had 3 things to buy. Oh, and the wee bottle of wine, sorry. I had 4 things to buy, but you will discover you'll have a lot of this already. So don't be put off, you know, when you look at these ingredients, because you're going to end up with a beautiful, oh, so tasty lasagna. Right, so as usual, all the ingredients that I'm using, along with their weights, you will find in the description box down below. You'll find grams and cups and ounces, because obviously, you know, we all use different systems of weighing. So if you're interested, you'll find that down in the description box. Right, so let's go and see what we're using today. So the first thing I got there is some olive oil. Now I've got about 3 tablespoons, but you can use vegetable oil or sunflower oil, whatever you like. I'm just using olive oil. I've also got 3 cloves of garlic, which I've just finely sliced, but you can mince this if you like. I've got 100 grams of mozzarella cheese. I've got about 300 grams of canned chopped tomatoes. I've got 1 litre of milk. I've got 120 mils of red wine. I've got 1.5 pounds of beef mince. You can use whatever kind of mince you like. You can use turkey or pork or beef or lamb. I'm just using beef today. I've also got 250 mils of beef stock. I've just used a beef stock cube. You can use whatever stock you like. I've got 200 grams of diced onions, 160 grams of plain all-purpose flour. I've got 1 teaspoon each of cinnamon, oregano and nutmeg. I've got 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, 100 grams of parmesan cheese, 2 egg yolks, 160 grams of butter and some salt and pepper just as we go along. Oof! But like I said, don't be put off by all the ingredients, because you will find, as I said, that you'll have a lot of these already. Yep, so let's move on and we'll see what's next. So I'm going to be using fresh egg pasta today, so it's going to need very little cooking. You can use dried pasta if you like, but if you're using dried pasta, I would suggest boiling it first just to soften it up. Now I've got 2 here, so I don't know, you know, I wasn't sure at this point which I was going to use, but ended up using the smaller of the 2. And this is the wine I'm using. It's just a very cheap Rioja. And this is the olive oil that I'm using. This was actually on offer at my supermarket, so I just picked this up. So first thing you want to do is go over to your cooker, and on a medium heat, just pop your oil in. Once it's nice and hot, you can pop your onions in. Now you just want to saute these for 4 or 5 minutes, just to soften them up a good bit. They don't have to be fully cooked, you know, you just want to take the raw edge off of them. And the next thing we're going to do is add our garlic. Again, you can slice this or mince it, it's up to you. We like wee chunky bits of garlic, so I just slice mine. And again, just give this a couple of minutes in with your onions to soften it up a wee bit. And then we're going to add our minced beef. So I just like to break mine up into wee handfuls like this. Now you just want to cook this on a sort of a fairly high heat, medium to high heat, just until it's browned all over and no pink remains. And this will probably take you about 5 minutes. I'm going to speed the footage up because I don't think we need to see me doing this for 5 minutes. It's just to let you see what you're looking for. So I was happy with this. And I'm going to pop in about half a teaspoon of salt. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. And also pepper. Just give it a wee stir through. And then you want to pop in your spices, your oregano, your nutmeg and your cinnamon. And again, just give it another wee stir through. And then your tomato puree, I've got 2 tablespoons. This is going to give it a lovely rich colour. I don't know if it really does much for the flavour, but it certainly gives it bags of colour. And then my tomatoes. These are just canned, chopped tomatoes. And then your beef stock. Like I said, I'm just using a beef cube. Give it a wee stir through. And then your wine. And then another wee stir through. You want to simmer this probably for about 30 to 40 minutes. You want to reduce this right down and it will thicken up. And you'll see that soon. So whilst you're waiting, you can go on and do your bechamel sauce. So into a pan you want to pop your butter and just melt that down. And then you want to add your flour and just grab yourself a whisk and just, just keep whisking and it'll form a paste. Quite a thick paste, but then this is a very thick sauce. Then you gradually want to add 1 litre of milk. You can use warm milk if you like. I just use room temperature. I don't think it makes any difference, but some people will tell you to use warmed milk. So just keep adding your milk gradually. Stir some in, and once it thickens up into a paste again, just add another wee bit and just keep going until you've used all of your milk. And if you do it this way, you're going to end up with a lovely, rich, velvety, smooth sauce, and you're not going to have any lumps. So just take the time that you need and do it properly. It makes all the difference. I have in the past, I've dumped all of the milk in to begin with, and it's been a disaster. And then you want to pop in about half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And this is going to give you that sort of signature, lasagna white sauce taste. And then about 80 grams of grated parmesan. Just stir that through. And look at that already. And we're going to pop our egg yolks in, and it's going to be lovely and glossy and velvety and just absolutely perfect. You can see that Bolognese sauce there just bubbling away. And that's your bechamel sauce done, guys. Easy. Now what I like to do is I like to cover it with cling film, but let the cling film touch the surface of the sauce. That way you're not going to get a skin on it when you go to use it later on. That's a good wee trick, that actually. Now you can go back to your mince mixture. And like I said, this has reduced a good bit by now. I'm not quite happy yet, but I'm going to pop in some of my bechamel sauce, and it's going to make it lovely and creamy. Now, you don't have to do this. This is just something I always do to my Bolognese type sauces. Like I said, it just makes it very, very rich and creamy. And I'm happy with this. This has had about 10-15 minutes with the bechamel sauce in it. Now all I have to do now is assemble. So into the bottom of a large oven tray, you want to put a thin layer of your meat sauce. Just give your pan a wee shuggle and that'll cover that well. Top of that, you want to put your lasagna sheets, followed by a thin layer of your bechamel sauce. And then some more of your mince mixture. And then pasta again. You're just really repeating the layers. And then your bechamel sauce, and then more meat sauce on top of that. And more pasta. And then finally, your final layer of bechamel. It doesn't have to be pretty because it's all getting covered up with cheese anyway. I just like to pop on about 100 grams of mozzarella and my remaining Parmesan cheese. But you can add, you can add as much cheese as you like. Some folk like to add ricotta cheese to the top. I don't bother because I think this is cheesy enough. And all you got to do now is whack this into the oven. Quite a low heat, gas mark 5, 190C or 375 Fahrenheit for about 35 to 40 minutes. But take your foil off for the last 10 minutes and you'll get a nice, brown top like this. So I would leave it in half an hour with the foil on and maybe 10-15 minutes with the foil off. And you want to let this rest for about 15 minutes just before you cut into it, because it'll set a wee bit. If you try and cut it as soon as it comes out of the oven, it'll just all fall apart. So this is me trying to cut it one-handed, which isn't easy. But you can see how much lasagna you're getting. I mean, you get tons. you'll easily get 6 good portions out of this. So we just had ours with some Mediterranean style salad and garlic bread, and look at that, absolutely beautiful. Now, if you make this the day before, you know, or you make it a good few hours in advance, when you go to cut it and it's cooled, it'll cut like butter and so easy, and you'll have a perfect square. My lot couldn't wait, so they're shouting about their tea. When are we getting the tea? I'm starving. All the usual stuff. So I couldn't let it sit for, you know, as long as I wanted to show you guys. So I think I only let mine sit for about 10 minutes before I cut into it. But like I said, I would have liked to have left that, you know, a good few hours. Ideally the night before, because as usual, these kind of things are always better the day after, and certainly it does the presentation a world of good. But yep, so that was my wee lasagna recipe. So mind and let me know what you think and whether you're going to, you know, make it yourself, because lots of you do try my wee recipes and let me know how you got on. I'm always super chuffed to hear you guys trying them, and some of you even, you know, send me messages on Instagram and show me pictures of your creations. In fact, one of you, Becky Kabuki Clown, had made my, what was it, broccoli and Stilton soup last week, and she'd sent me a picture and it looked wonderful. And it's one of these soups, you know, you don't think you're going to like because you're not keen on Stilton or you're not keen on broccoli, but something happens when the two of them come together. It's just like food magic. It's absolutely delicious. So yeah, so like I said, guys, thank you very much, and I'm going to stop rambling now. So I'll hopefully see you back later on for meals of the week. So whatever you're doing and whatever you get up to, mind to take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bye now.